Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Up next, we've got Bill in New Haven, Connecticut. Bill, how's it going?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My wife and I are in a very difficult situation. I'm 71. I'll be 72 next month. My wife is 66. She teaches at a private school. We moved from a state where the salaries are considerably lower than they are here in Connecticut, and the cost of living is not a whole lot different. And this past summer, in the heat of the summer, for Connecticut, our air conditioning went out completely. And it's going to cost us almost $14,500 to get a new furnace and everything to replace the one that went out. And it's going to. They have a state program here. I can finance. It'll be almost about a $175 a month for 10 years. Additionally, my wife took out a parent loan for our daughter to go to college. I was adamantly opposed to it, but her philosophy is she's my baby and I love her, so I'm going to do it. And due to being in forbearance twice, once due to getting sick and having to take off work during the school year in the other state, and then moving up here to Connecticut, she went into forbearance each of those two times. And what that means is that you don't have to make a payment, but the interest accrues. Mm-hmm. As a result, she still owes over $100,000 on that. Our daughter went to a private school in New York. And it's like I've been fighting a losing battle financially all these years. And I'm 71 now. I'll be 72 next month. And I have to go back to work. Mm-hmm. I took an early retirement a few years ago, but, all I'm getting is a small Social Security check because my salaries were always low. I have a small Army Reserve retirement. Thank goodness I stayed in that for over 20 years. And then I have a very, very small state retirement from our most recent state. I worked for the state retirement system for a few years.
So
and,
what is the household income add up to right now?
Our total income, our AGI is less than $100,000.
Okay,
including everything. And my wife is 66, and she would like to start receiving Social Security when she can get the maximum dollar amount, and I would like her to do that too. But she's talking about starting to receive Social Security as soon as she can, which I believe is about another 6 months or so, something like that. And it would be considerably less. And she teaches at a private school now. She's happy there. The salaries at private schools are very low. But she says at her age, if she were to get a Connecticut teaching certificate, nobody would hire her because who wants a 66-year-old woman?
I don't buy that one.
Well, that's what she says. And plus, she loves where she is now. She was in a miserable teaching situation in the previous state. That's why she went on sick leave, because the superintendent drove her to that, to make a long story short. And then we moved up here. And so due to those two situations is why she went on the forbearance, because we did not have any money coming in to make the payments. Now I'm looking at going back to work, whether it's full-time or part-time, preferably full-time, because like I said, I need the money.
Well, how much do you guys have that's liquid? Liquid cash?
Oh, nothing. We have bills up to our eyeballs.
You have more debt than the Parent Plus loans and this 14.5 HVAC?
Yes.
What else?
Yes. credit cards, of course. And it's about $70,000.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, I know. It's horrifying, and I'm.
Is your wife concerned about this, or is it just you?
Absolutely. Yes, both of us are concerned.
And what other debt?
Well, the house.
What's left on the mortgage?
Oh, gee. Probably about 200 and something thousand.
Okay.
What's the house worth?
I don't know. We're not sure about that. It's about.
What'd you buy it for?
I'm trying to remember. We bought it for $300,000 and something.
Okay.
Now, like I said, I'm looking at going back to work, and I know that some of the places I've come across mention in their ads that they offer 401ks. Some mention that they offer 401ks with a match. Some do not mention a 401k at all. Now, my understanding is that you have to begin withdrawing from a 401k at a certain age. And I'm wondering if at my age, would I even be allowed to put money into a 401k? And if I did, what would I do? Put the money in the 401k and get the employer's match and then start withdrawing the 401k?
Well, truthfully, Bill,
bills?
I don't want to be their bearer of bad news, but we got a ways to go before we would even begin investing. So we wouldn't recommend you do any investing until you clean up this mess.
Even with the employer match.
Even with the employer match. You guys are so underwater on payments, you don't have a dime to invest.
You're exactly right.
So we need to clean up this debt. And so I'm going to start with the smallest balance to largest. I'm going to try to. Can your daughter make the payment on these student loans?
She won't do it.
Why?
She says it's the parent's responsibility to pay for the child's education. I paid for all of my education.
Who taught her that? Mom?
How did you guess?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, okay, so, Bill, here's the reality.
You've been catered to her whole life.
Well, this is as much a marital problem as much as financial. You've got some resentment towards your spouse.
Yeah, you got a marriage issue. And George and I can't solve the marriage issue. Unfortunately, the marriage issue has created a mountain of money issues. And Bill, look, here's the bottom line. We teach the baby steps for a reason, whether you're 71, 51, or 31. And right now, what you have to do is $1,000 as an emergency fund. And unfortunately, you had a massive emergency in the form of an HVAC system. You've got to take care of that, George. That's a tough situation. You can't use credit cards to do that, but you guys are going to have to scramble and work, and it's time for you and Mom to have a conversation with the daughter, and it's time for her to grow up. That's going to be a difficult conversation. If your wife is as concerned as you said she is, then it's time for her to have some hard conversations. This is a mess.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at $200,000 outside of the mortgage that you guys owe if you're taking on these Parent Plus loans while making $90,000. And you're already almost 72, Bill. And so we've got to make some big decisions. You got to go make $25 an hour at least, 40 hours a week to help. But you need your wife on the same page first. You're not going to make any progress when you're trying to do this on your own. And you need to have that hard conversation with your daughter and say, listen, Mom and Dad are broke. And unless you want to be taking care of us for the next 20 years, we need to clean up our mess and you need to clean up these student loans. But again, the legal responsibility is on you guys, which is the worst part about these Parent Plus loans, Ken. High interest rates, forbearance, the kid doesn't pay, it's on the parents, and Thanksgiving dinner's real awkward. Bill, I'm so sorry you're going through this, man. I hope that you can clean this up and one day retire again, but this time the right way, with some dignity, with some peace, with some patience, and with a pile of money.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.